Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Sada Blurred. Hopefully you watched my last video. If you did, it'll make this so much easier, but this is gonna be a story time. I'm gonna call it the Ohio Media School story, High School of the Dead, or just School of the Dead. You'll see when I drop the, you'll see. But we're gonna start from the beginning. When I go to enroll at the school, I talk to whoever the admission lady was. And long story short, I told her that I already had my own vision. I got bad light and I gotta stop blocking that light. But I already told her that I had a vision and things like that, and I didn't want to be on the radio. Or she said I could still come and just take the classes and all this stuff. And we got booths and all this stuff that I could do my personal stuff on. We could rent cameras and all that stuff, which I only got to do one time. So basically, we could work on our own stuff and make it high quality. That's why early on in my journey, I had like the podcast Raising Consciousness before I got into just this behind the camera stuff. And then, I mean, I was behind the camera. You get what I'm saying? I was just talking to the camera. But I also was making like TikToks and stuff like that, like crystal reviews, universal laws, chromatic laws. But I was doing like edited videos and stuff like that on the computer. And right now, all I got is this 12 Pro Max, so I haven't been doing nothing. Well, I've been doing this. That's all I can do. But they told me it was cool. So I come to the school. And the first teacher I met was Ray John McCall. Ray John, how do I feel about you? It's like, what was the problem? Like, I don't know. I felt like I was nice to you. I'm a little standoffish. Not really. I just like my own presence, like being in my own presence and stuff like that. But it's like this teacher wanted to find a problem with me. He saw that I like anime. He liked anime. Saw that he might like video games. I like video games and stuff like that. But he would always want to question me about religion and all that stuff and make jokes about me being spiritual and stuff like that. And like my God, and always want to tell me all. And it's like I don't mind talking to anyone of any religion, but he would like try to put his religion over mine or act as if I'm just like, or you just a witch or something like that. Like he'd just make like little witchy jokes and shit like. And it's like passive aggressiveness. And it's like he showed me his podcast or whatever in class, and he would often show his stuff in class. But it's like he would always want to talk about his stuff, but when I showed him something, it was like envy. It was like jealousy all the time. It was like the look in his eyes. He wouldn't even want to acknowledge it. He was talking about how he was this great producer and he make all his own music and stuff like that. And he eventually showed me his music. I'm not gonna comment on it. It's not my taste. But I showed him my music. He didn't even want to finish the song like how he felt. And it's like it's not that my music is bad. It's just that he was surprised how good it was, especially quality wise. My music quality was a lot better than his music quality. And he was talking about how he's just a good producer and all that stuff. And it was one day I was in the booth, like these studios that we got. I was working on the song because at the time I didn't have money to record my new songs. And I asked him for some help. He brought another student in, had a conversation while I'm trying to play the song and like showing what I need help on, paid me no attention, and then said just play with the settings and left out. It's like they would always say, if you need help, ask for help. But I'm asking for help and you blatantly disrespecting me, not acknowledging me, and then giving me the cold shoulder and stuff like this. It was one time in class we had to do a group assignment, and one of the students called everybody name. They gathered everybody up. I'm in the class. They called everybody name but me and went to the studio. And it's like I was always singled out. It's like I was a villain or something. Like I ain't do nothing to nobody but stay to myself. And it's like I felt like you was a hater, bro. Like I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what your problem is. I was always nice to you. I even bigged you up a little bit, cause your music ain't it. Next, DJ Maserati knock. I'm gonna keep it friendly. It started cause you, Mr. Cincy Underground. For those who don't know, at Ohio Media School, we have this thing called Cincy Underground. It's our school radio station. So I brought you on music the first time, and I come back a couple days later. You say, "Oh yeah, I didn't get the chance to listen to it." I wait till the next week. You say, "Oh yeah, I still ain't listened to it. Can you send it to me again?" I sent it to you again. I asked you one more time, and you said, "I'll let you know when I listen to it." And you never. I was there for months. You never let me know. You also had this thing where the Cincy Underground, where you train people to be on a radio station and stuff like that. And I signed up for it. And then the whole time, you making phone calls, you ain't teaching me nothing. You basically ignoring me, trying to make me feel like, I don't know, some type of way. It's like every time something involving me, you act weird. And it's like, I don't know what your problem with me was neither. And so, whenever it was a girl student in there, you would be all up their ass. You would show them all the attention in the world. Or even other students like that would stroke your ego, because that's what it's about, stroking your ego. The people that would acknowledge you, make you feel good. You put on this fake personality every day, this fake old jolly, oh, I want to shake everybody's hand and I'm smiling and going around and bubbly and torn up inside, bro. Like, miserable. Like, I could see through you. And it's like, me not fanning over you, it made you want to, like, humble me. I'm not humble, bro. And it's like, I asked you for a camera one day. I signed After I used the camera the first time, y'all tell me that we gotta let y'all know 3 days ahead. I signed up a week before. I had a podcast that weekend I was gonna shoot with this garden, and I was gonna interview somebody there. And when I asked you for the camera, you looked me dead in my eye and said, "If you give me a handshake," because at this point in time, I don't even acknowledge you because all the disrespect. Like, when you would come into the class, I wouldn't shake your hand. You make me seem like I'm a bad person, but you know the stuff you're doing behind the scenes that you doing to me. You know the real vibes, and you'll come into class putting on that fake old jolly, ha ha ha, trying to laugh in my face and shake my hand. No, I don't want to shake your hand. I don't. I don't want to acknowledge you. You're not acknowledgeable. And it's like in the studio, whatever the room was, I asked you for the camera, and you said if you give me a handshake. And I instantly walked away. And then you ran out there after me into the hallway and was like, "Well, you got to sign the paper and da da da." And then I showed you that I signed the paper, and you still didn't give me no camera. And it's like after after that, every time I wanted the camera, it was always an excuse with me. I'm gonna pause on that for now. Miss Lala. When I first met you, you kind of I, I was a little still bipolar back then, and I was tired because low key was going through a lot of stuff, still trying to work, and I was sleepy, and I was sleeping in your class. And you said something to me, and I end up leaving. Cause I didn't want to disrespect you, but I think I came back the next day and I apologized. And I don't got no bad blood with you. You actually pushed me a little bit and made me think about stuff. Sometimes I'm a little impulsive, and you helped me plan stuff ahead of time. And that's how I was able to shoot all of them podcasts. I mean, not podcasts, but like all my TikToks and stuff. Cause I really thought about it. I made a whole calendar, and that stuff helped me. And even though I feel a type of way about the school and all the things I encountered, I don't feel like you don't know what was going on, but I don't feel like you was involved with it, and I really don't care. I ain't, I don't got no bad blood with none of y'all, but you was my favorite person, and I found you to be helpful, if that means anything to you. And I noticed like around the end of stuff, you had like a sadness in your eye, and I feel like that's because you saw the stuff that was going on and like all of that stuff. And it's something I like to say, but I ain't gonna make this video about no spiritual stuff or none of that stuff. It's just straight to the point. So I'm just not gonna acknowledge that. But next, Aaron Barnes. First interaction with Aaron Barnes, I was in the computer lab, and I happened to say something about celibacy, and she came over into the conversation and ended up chopping it up a little bit. I guess she didn't believe me and was questioning me and all that stuff. I ended up having her class the next semester, And we talked a couple more times and stuff like that, like about interests and all that stuff. Always just friendly, normal conversations. And eventually, it got to a point where I stopped going to class. And when I stopped going to class, she would come to the studio because, like, the reason we're gonna take a break on Aaron. It got to a point where at the school, I realized I didn't fit in. We went to a local radio station, like the real radio station downtown in our city, the most popular one. And I was on there, and it was like the DJ, I think his name DJ Don Juan, and he was like, "You want to do it? What the for show for show?" The other students they wanted to do it to be on the radio. I didn't care for it. I really didn't. I would never say what the for show for show. I think that's what I told them, and they found that to be disrespectful. I'm just an honest person, and it's like I don't want to do it. It's like it just was lame to me. I don't know. They enjoyed it just to be able to say they was on the radio, but I got marked as being a problem for doing that. And it's like in the classes, it's like every teacher has something against me. Not everyone, because you could say Lala, she was a teacher. I don't feel like she had nothing against me. But it's like the males in the school had something against me. I know. It's like Knock, Mr. Ray John. And it's like eventually even the students, there's a lot of students there that's just like treating it like it's high school, like clicking up and like excluding me from stuff and like purposely not talking to me or associating with me and stuff. Like I'm supposed to care. I'm not a person out there seeking validation or looking for friends. As you can see, I was comfortable with self. I would isolate myself on purpose because I didn't want to be around y'all. I'd rather go work with on my own stuff instead of doing all these redundant like projects. It just was whack and just easy. It's like, and then the stuff y'all teaching us, I had to go to YouTube still to find out more complex ways because y'all teaching us the most basic stuff that if you have basic computer knowledge and you download a program, you learn how to use. It's just y'all teaching us how to press play and record. And it's like we do weekly reviews and I'm doing them accurately. I'm doing ones and twos. I'm really telling why. I'm telling experience with the teachers. I'm telling why and everything. And it's like I'm only telling y'all this because it's gonna mean something at the end of the story. But it's like I'm doing these weekly reflections, I'm giving the ratings and all this stuff, and it's like I'm becoming a problem now that teachers don't like me because I'm just being honest. And it's like I'm not even doing it in a malicious way. I'm leaving feedback. I'm leaving positive feedback or the true feedback. I knew the school was janky. On the first day, they had us do a survey. And they treated us real good the first week. And it's like, y'all make us do this survey so y'all can have these high ratings because everybody happy to just get into school and y'all giving us all of these little benefits and showing us all this stuff, making it seem cool. The ratings in the school fucking fake. It's everybody's first fucking day. That's like the first thing y'all do. Let me stop cussing. But back to Erin. So I got her my second block or whatever. And it's like I eventually stopped going to classes for all of them reasons. And I started just going to the booth every day. And I talked to her. I think the lady was named Rhonda. And I tell her about the problems I'm having. And I tell her about the reviews. And I tell her that I want to just work on my own stuff and do the thing on computer. Like, I don't care if I fail or not because I'm not looking for a high school, Ohio Media School degree. Like I told him I had my own plans. So she told me it's okay. And she actually told me that they was thinking about getting rid of some teachers and in 4 weeks I'm gonna see an improvement and all that stuff. So I stopped going to class and every day I would come to school and I would work on my stuff and I would practice my stuff. And it's like Erin would always stumble her way into the booth after her class teaching. She'd come in there, talk to me, see what I'm doing. Ease, like, just basically spying on me. Sometimes she just come in there, I just want to see what you're doing. I could like starts, just say some random stuff. I thought nothing of it. And then it eventually became a point where the reason I left is because I had a problem with most of the teachers except for Miss Lala and her. And so she started to act like the rest of them. And at the time, I'm making spiritual videos and stuff like that, like teaching. I'm like low key dropping hints of pay attention to the people around you, listen to these people, because at first I saw you as a friend, and it's like because we had a lot of stuff in common, all that stuff. You a cool person, and it's like I saw you switch from being friendly with me to being like envious and jealous just like them, and listening to what they telling you, because y'all all the teachers, so y'all talk to each other. You treat this shit just like high school, and y'all also talk to the students like they part. Y'all all just talk and gossip with each other. So eventually you start feeling how they feeling and stuff like that. You start doing weird stuff. Like I remember one time you offered me this interview, like not interview, but this internship or whatever you want to call it. But you said you had some models and you was taking pictures and I would be perfect for the job, and then you walked away. Before this, you used to have better communication. I know you're someone that communicates very well, but you purposely gave me this vague job opportunity and then ran out. Every time you saw me doing my own thing, like you're trying to distract me or something. And it's like I was supposed to chase you down and beg you for information on it when you could have just told me instead of being weird. So I ignored you. You came back a week later and did the same thing. I ignored you again. You start coming around with your hand on your shoulder, like you pondering and thinking and I can see you. I see it. You was like you showing an expression like you even started to change your expressions and stuff like that. Like you really trying to study me or some shit. Like I'm an experiment. And it's like it get to a point where it was a girl that was in the class. And long story short, my first time presenting, I was not into it. And I gave a bland performance or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, everything was so good. It's like it was the best in the class, but you kind of shy, your personality born." And I just looked at her and I acknowledged her. Cause like in my mind, I'm like, I don't even care about this. So that girl eventually became one of my biggest fans. I remember I presented something else and she was like, "Oh my God, that's you." And then I ain't been to the class in a month at this point in time. She come into my studio and asked me, can I help her with an assignment? I keep telling her no. She begging me. And then I say, all right, what is it? And then I'm trying to help her, but she make it like she got to do something else. So she came and asked for my help and then said she got to go do something else. So that was her excuse of getting my number. And so I didn't even want to take her number at first, but I gave it to her eventually. And so then she left out. So she didn't want the help. She really just came in there to get my number. And so she started texting me, and she was texting me about everything but the assignment, trying to like ask me about my living situation. I told her I'm homeless, and she's like, "Oh my God, I got an extra room. You come stay?" No, I don't want to come stay with you. And then it's like she was trying to lure me to her house. She's like, "I got a laptop. You come over here and show me and show me." I'm like, "We go to school. Like you just come to my studio or whatever." She's like, "Nah, you can just come over." She kept on trying to get me to her house. And then after that, I just stopped texting her back. She was texting me all weekend and all that stuff. So I went to the school and I told them that I don't want y'all to discipline her or anything, but when we at school, can y'all make sure she stay away from me? And they asked why, and I showed them the proof, and I went on about my day. The studios got like glass windows. She came in there and she like, why you tell them that stuff? Don't nobody want you, or saying whatever she's saying. And the whole time, Aaron Barnes asked to the window, looking in there as if that's her friend, and she sent her on a mission, like they working on this together. And I'm just noting that. And then so she leave out. And I see Aaron leave out. Aaron's still acting weird. And so it eventually get to the point where I see Aaron is trying to like do a little weird shit. And I like but I see it's like breaking her low key, like she and then like I'm feeling bad for her. So I message her and I asked, can we talk? She said that she had a little class on Saturday. Saturdays is the school is closed, but if you got extra, like you want to do your own thing, you can come up there and use the computers. Before I get into that, I'm missing something. It was a previous Saturday before she started acting weird. I was there at the school, and it'd be one teacher there usually because nobody really come. Most of the students don't really work on their own stuff, and they just do the assignments and get their degree and don't do nothing because the school don't really teach you nothing. But I don't need to be taught. I always knew that I can teach myself anything. I mean, yeah, everybody need to be taught, but I excel at stuff easily. And I only went to the school because I was poor, not without, and I needed a computer to use. So that Saturday, I'm in my booth, and she the teacher. She come back there one time, and she's like, she want to see what I'm doing. We end up talking for 30 minutes, and then she go back up front for maybe 15 minutes. Then she come back, and she talking, and this time she telling me about her fiance and all the stuff she had to say negative about him. I'm not gonna repeat that or gossip about it. But she telling me about her love life and just all of this stuff about herself. At the time, I'm still doing my work. I'm just listening. And so she eventually asked me, "You want to see what I'm doing?" This is around the time the school supposed to close. It closed around 2 o'clock on Saturdays. We left at 5 o'clock. We in there talking. I'm helping her with her little thing. Like she asked me, like, "What do you think I should do here?" And da 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 da. Cause she shot some wedding photos, and she literally asked me. I'm helping the teacher with her stuff. Like I'm giving her constructive criticism and things to help her. None of these teachers ever helped me with anything. Never helped me with nothing. And it's like, but it's like she, when you know that somebody don't want you to leave, and she's just talking to me, like telling me all this stuff. We end up leaving at 5. But again, I never flirted with this woman. I never told her she was attractive. I never came in contact physically with her or touched her in anything. I was just always friendly. I love everybody. I'm a loving person. So I I asked her, can we talk? It's a Saturday again, and there's only one other person in the class that she teaching, and I think the lady had a little daughter with her. I'm sitting there, and she basically tell what the assignment is, and she come over there with her phone, and she pulled out a video. She's like, "You already took this in class," because I was in her class. She the one who taught it to me. It was like some after image stuff. If you know anything about Adobe After Image, I believe that's when you do like the keynotes and stuff and make animate stuff. But she was trying to teach me something that she didn't even comprehend yet because she was watching a YouTube video to teach me how to do something. She watching a YouTube video teaching me how to do something because they keep trying to like, I don't know, like one up me or like compete with me. So she trying to learn something and teach it to me. And it's like I'm in my head like this motherfucker serious. And it's like she also had a face mask on. It's cause like, and she never wore a face mask before. I'm looking at her face and like the glow that she had when I first met her. She just looked sad. She looked depressed and stuff like her eyes was low. And it's like I could see that it's starting to eat away at her. Like it's like they told her all of this stuff and she looking for the problem in me. And it's like, and they also like trying to like find something I can't do. I feel like I don't know. It's like I said, it's like I'm an experiment. And so she ended up teaching it to me. It take her like an hour, hour and a half. Even part of the way through, she getting visibly frustrated that she messing up, like and missing parts and not comprehending stuff. And I'm like, calm down, just breathe or whatever. And then she take a breath, breathe, and then she stand up to the class and say a little motivational speech. And she's like, breathe, as Sal would say, and sat back down because she like, she says she a Reiki healer and spiritual and stuff like that. Or well, she Christ, I don't know what she is, but yeah, she did that. And then she came back and sat down and finished teaching me. And maybe like 10 minutes later, I told her to come, and I did it better than her. And it only took me 10 minutes. And she was like kind of surprised that I did it. And I'm like, afterwards, the class over, I'm looking for her, can't find her, looking for her, can't find her. Then I finally decide to leave, and then I find her. And she's like, "Oh, didn't you want to talk?" Like coming down when I'm leaving out, and I'm like, "Nah," because it's like I know you. It's like I don't know. I felt like she was purposely avoiding me or something. I don't know. It's like I get irritated easily. Like you knew I came here to talk to you. I had to sit through this whole class. Then after class, I can't even find you. I'm ready to leave. And so I had left. And I had ended up texting her one more time because at this point in time, I wasn't coming back to the school. I was kind of done with it. And I tell her that I got love for you. I see you going through some things, and you like obviously you've been stressed out or whatever. Like I see you changed, and like basically I tell her I can see you going through some shit, and I tell her I got love for her. If you ever want to talk, I'm here for you. And I said it like that because I knew that if she really was plotting on me the way that I think she was plotting on me, she would try to use that against me. I didn't say that I love you as in like I got feelings for you because I don't have feelings for you. I mean I love you as a person. Like I love everybody. I hope you wish you well. But it's like I said that, and then I never came back to the school for maybe like a month or a month and a half. And only reason I went because I was sitting chilling one day, and then I was like, dang, I got files on that computer, and like I had the music and stuff that I was working on, some videos of my TikToks and all that stuff. And I'm like, I gotta go get that stuff. Cause at this point, the situation with the school, like I can't even get no cameras no more. I can't. It's like I can't even use the stuff. So it's like they been so weird to me, and like I was like, ain't no even point going no more. So I go to the school, and when I get there, I'm in there. I got my flash drives in there. I'm loading them all up, deleting the stuff as I load them up. And then the director of the school come in, and it's a new guy. He probably only been there for like 2 weeks, and he like, I need to see you in the office. His name was Kevin Flick. Kevin Flick. But yeah, Kevin Flick, Mr. Kevin. Mr. Kevin came into there and he talking about I need to see you in the office or I need to talk to you or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna be real. I'm almost done. I tell him I'm almost done. I'll meet you in there. He like, no, I need to see you now. And I'm like, bro, I'm almost done. Like, I'll probably never come back to the school anyway. Like, just give me a couple minutes. Like, it only say 2 minutes left. Or I think like 5 minutes or whatever. But he like, I see what they mean. You are disrespectful. I'm like, what? Like you disrespectful? You just came in here demanding me to just get up and run to the office and you ain't explaining nothing. He's like, well, I'll talk to you about it in the office. And I'm like, bro, you being disrespectful to me and you mad that I'm being disrespectful to you and I'm not. I'm just telling you what's happening. And we go back and forth for like 2 minutes and then he's like, all right, I'll see you in the office or whatever. And so I finally finished getting my stuff. I deleted everything off the computer and I go in there. And Spirit told me, like, record this conversation because it's like, I be planning stuff. Like, I see what the enemy doing and I be aware. Like, I knew that she was playing, like I said, I knew that she was going to try to use that against me. So I'm like, oh, so, all right. I turned my recorder on. Like I said, I got the actual conversation with him recorded. And when I go in there, I sit my phone down and get into the position and all that stuff. And I just start talking to him. And he basically tell me about, first he asked me about the reflections, basically the reviews, my ratings. And he like telling me how the teachers feel about me and how basically I'm a problem and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's funny that I'm leaving reviews and I'm trying to give opinions, but all you think about is the teachers and I'm a student and you don't care about what I'm going through or how I feel or why I'm doing this. It's like I'm not doing it malicious. I leave reviews like I'm letting them know like you can read the reviews, like but it's like you just got here 2 weeks ago, so whatever they told you, you holding me against it, and you don't even know me, and you're not even reading the reflections. And it's like everybody in the school that I felt like was on my side or whatever, like the lady Miss Rhonda, she got fired, and that's or I don't know if she left or whatever, but he just became the new person, and he was on their side. So now it's like another agent against me, and it's like he gave me like this big old piece of paper with the cause I messaged her on the school server, like the basically the little school Gmail, and so he give me this picture. He's like, you see how this can be looked at as harassment? I'm like, yeah, I see how you can try to spin it as harassment, but I read it to him and it says, it doesn't say I'm in love with you. I didn't flirt with her or anything, but he's like, you said love. I'm like, yeah, I got love for you too. It's like, he's like, you're admitting your feelings to her. I'm like, no, I'm not saying I got no feelings to her or nothing like that. And it's like, I'm like, I'm basically like, we go back and forth. And he's like, well, you haven't been coming to class. And I'm like, I talked to Rhonda, and like we had the conversation. He's like, "Well, Rhonda's not here no more, or whatever." And it's like the teachers, you're a problem, and you're not coming to class. So it's either you come back to class, or we're gonna have to take these allegations seriously. And so I asked him like, "So if I don't come back to class, I ain't do nothing. But if I refuse not to go back to class, then I'm a harasser or whatever." And so he just get baffled or whatever. And then it's like we going back and forth. He's like, we just going back and forth. I'm gonna actually put the recording to that conversation at the end of this video so that y'all can listen to it. But long story, we go back and forth, and I eventually tell him that I was recording the whole conversation and I was never planning on coming back. And it's like he like Sal, and it's like I'm just walking out and I leave out, and then it's like I forgot the guy name in the front. I tell him like I always thought you was a nice guy. I'm sorry that I walk past you every day when I've been here because I don't know, that school just gave me a bad vibe. All the negativity in there, like from teachers and students. I would sometimes just be in there like kind of mean mugging and stuff like that, like soaking in all that negative energy. And I told him like I got love for you, man. I'm sorry, like you a good guy and all that stuff. And I just talked to him and then I left. And then I came back like an hour later because I realized I left one of my flash drives. And he tried to come and say I was banned from school or whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm never coming back. I was like, I won't come back. I just had to get my flash drive or whatever. But that was the last time I came to the school. And it's like the experience there was not good. And it's like I just don't respect the defamation of character. And that's the reason I'm making this video. Because it's like y'all slandering my name, making me seem like I'm a bad guy. And you want to make these false harassment allegations where Aaron Barnes, if you don't know about this and hypothetically they just did this on their own, you know about it by now. And the fact that you ain't spoke on it, apologized, let it be known that you part of the problem. I hope they've been nice. I'm sorry to blur it. Until next time, we're going to be talking about my parents. I'm going to go full Sasuke Uchiha. If you know, you know. Or no, not Sasuke, Itachi. But not in the flesh, in the spirit. How you doing?
Ready? What's that? Right. So what's going on, sir?
You tell me. You asked me to come here.
All right. Well, I had gotten some, there's some comments and reflections from last week I wanted to follow up with you about, and then I've gotten some teens chats from one of the instructors here that were kind of concerning, so I want to give you an opportunity to kind of respond to those. So are those your... Okay. All right. You understand that those were concerning to the instructor involved?
She never said nothing.
Okay. Well, you can understand how those could be interpreted as being concerning, correct?
I understand how they could be interpreted, but you can also use your words to just say things.
Okay. Well, at this point, what are your intentions with us here at school?
To work.
Are you attending class?
I mean, I've tried to attend class. I wasn't given an opportunity to learn anything. I was never given an opportunity to do anything. Every time I asked for help, I was put to the side. I literally had teachers come in when I asked them for help. They bring other students in, and instead of helping me, they have a conversation and then walk out. So no, I was not given an opportunity to perform at this school.
Okay. All right. Did you speak to anybody about that?
Yes, I have. I talked to Rhonda plenty of times. I talked to her about how Knock, I don't know what he is. I was sold a dream on this school that I would be able to have my music. I would be able to use cameras. I would be able to do everything. And I was paying my student fees for a while, but I stopped paying them because every time I asked for a camera, I said no. I literally asked Knock for a camera, and he said, well, can I get a handshake? I said no. He said, I can't have a camera then. So the fact that I don't want to stroke your ego or be your friend, I can't use the equipment, that's one thing. The fact that I come and ask teachers for help, then they see my work, and it's like, I have teachers like Rajon McCall. He literally sits in class and shows his work all day. He shows his stuff all day. But whenever I want to show something, it's a problem. And whenever I ask for help, it's a problem. You can't help me. But you want to showcase your work. You're so willing to self-promote, but you're not willing to help me succeed. I thought this was supposed to be to help me succeed. When I came here, I told them that I don't want to be on radio. I have my own vision already. They told me everything that I told them. They said it was okay. But the moment I signed up for the school, it wasn't okay. They tried to put me in the box, and the moment that they saw that I wanted to do what I wanted to do, everyone in the school turned their back on me and they left me. They literally, I'm over here working, doing stuff on my own. Nobody come to check on me, or if they do come to check on me, it's condescending. They come and check on me and say, oh yeah, I'll help you, smiling in my face, and the moment I ask them for help, they walk away.
Okay. All right. So is that what the reflections are about? Promise and experience them blackballed and treated unfairly. Got a video I've been working on, planning to share my experience, everything going through. Okay. All right. These are the things I want to talk to you about, Sal, because I'm happy to work with you.
I'm not willing to work with you though. I mean, I'm still enrolled to the 8th. I came here once.
Well, no, I gotta stop you there. If you're not willing to have a conversation or work, then I can't have you.
We're having a conversation. You said work with you. Conversation and working with you is different. We can have this whole conversation. At the end, I can decide that I'm not aligned with your view. I'm free to make that decision. But unless you're going to reimburse me for the rest of my money, I'm going to finish the school. I don't come here that often, but if I do choose to come here to the 8th, I'm going to use the computer. I already been told that I can. When I stopped going to class, I talked around and I told her everything I was going through. They made no changes. They've said, oh, in 4 weeks, so much stuff is going to change. We're doing this. We're working on this. We see the same things you see.
Okay. Well, I understand that. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to speak with Rhonda. Unfortunately, Rhonda's up with the campus right now. So we need to talk through here. Salim, I'm willing to work with you on this, but
what are we working on? Like, tell me, like, instead of saying we're willing to work on this, explain something to me.
Okay. So to continue on, we would need to get some clarification on this situation, make sure that there's no interaction between you and that particular instructor.
I don't interact with no one here. I come here and go into an office and then I leave.
I understand, but if you're going to be enrolled as a student, then we need to get you actively involved with your classes, not just come up here when you want to use the studios.
The classes don't align with me. The classes are not helping me do what I need to do. Are you gonna have instructors to actually help me? Because I'm not willing to go smile in somebody's face that don't give a fuck about me. I'm not willing to stroke no one ego that is not helping me. If you're not willing to listen to what I got going on or what I'm trying to do, then I don't care. I'm not a robot. I'm not no bot, and I'm not about to follow you blindly. If you leading me to hell, I'm not following you.
I understand, but I need to know.
You don't understand if you keep telling me the same thing. You saying I understand it, then you read the same script. You don't understand.
No, I understand. There's obviously situations from the past, but I can't have a student come on campus who refused to come talk to me.
Well, I will leave. I don't care about this campus. And I will just make my video and do everything I have to do. I'm content. I got enough content.
Okay. Are you looking to formally step away? Sal.
This was recorded also.